Live on your superstation Joy 99.7 FM. Always glad to be in your company at this time on a Saturday. My name is Nathaniel Atto and I welcome you to today's Joy Sports Link. A lot to discuss today. We're digging into Formula One as usual. And remember, as we go through the break and get ourselves ready for the resumption of the season, there's a lot to look at. Some developments within the camp of Mercedes. Switching of drivers where there's going to be probably a different second option. Plus more other developments. We're looking into all of those now. And immediately after that, what is happening in Ghana athletics? The National Sports Authority has, distanced itself from an elective congress that the Ghana Athletics Association is holding today in the northern regional capital of Tamale. By procedure, every elective congress of such nature by any sporting association under the National Sports Authority is supposed to have representation from the National Sports Authority. As the situation stands, delegates are in Tamale. Officials of the association are also there. And they are going ahead with the Congress. Remember that Ghana is about to participate in the All Africa Games in Morocco. And so the big question is, after this development, what is happening to the Ghana Athletics Association in, there at the All Africa Games? Under whose supervision will the Ghana Athletics Association operate at the All Africa Games? And what are the other implications of going against the directive from the National Sports Authority to have an elective congress? You probably may have thought that some of these, issues were far away from us, especially after that long power struggle of the Ghana Olympics Committee, where the Ghana Olympic Committee, where, we grew from that era and moved on, several years on. But there we go, politics at its highest level and confusion at its highest level. Now, Mr. Kweku Abidu Wilson is the acting head of technical at the National Sports Authority. He will be here to speak for the National Sports Authority, and also we'll get on the phone line to speak to Mr. Bawaf Hussaini, the man at the center of all of this controversy. Now, let me just quickly explain a little bit before we get into the Formula One discussion. Now, the National Sports Authority is mandated by law to develop and promote sports in the country. And under the structure, there's a subset of sporting associations who manage respective sporting disciplines. Now, by the structure here in Ghana, the National Sports Authority appoints the scribe or the general secretary of each association. In this case, there was some confusion regarding, the tenure of Mr. Bawaf Hussaini, who is still holding himself as the Secretary General of the Ghana Athletics Association. So, as it stands now, Mr. Bawaf Hussaini is still the General Secretary of the Ghana Athletics Association. They're going into Congress to elect a new executive, and by a certain time today, we're expecting that a new executive would have emerged for the Ghana Athletics Association. Question here, however, is, will they be legal? Because there was no representation from the mother body, which is the National Sports Authority of Ghana. Well, we'll be discussing this into detail later on in the show. But here with me are the usual suspects, the man, Kwabna Puku, who is the coordinator for F1 Ghana, and of course, Will Sam. Gentlemen, thank you very much for being here. Great to have you in the studio.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Great. I like the spirit.
Good afternoon.
And, you're all in deep blue shirts. I mean, navy blue shirts. That's what they call them. Yeah, it's good. It means that Chelsea will be Chelsea will resurrect very soon in the English Premier League. Of course, thank you very much, gentlemen, for your time. It's always great to have you. Okay, so we begin with the developments in the camp of Mercedes, where we see a certain, big switch. Okay,
No,
so
Red Bull.
I beg your pardon. Sorry, Red Bull. Okay, so let's go into it now. Give us the full detail.
Okay, so I mean, as William actually predicted this thing, William would be the best person to. He predicted.
Yeah. Okay.
The happenings in Red Bull.
Yeah. So last week, during the program, I mentioned that some of the things that we'll see in the second half of the season was possible shakeups in driver seats, and that we had to watch Gasly very carefully because the gap between Gasly and Verstappen was quite large, and Red Bull need to make a difference in their driver lineup in order to challenge Ferrari for their second place in the Constructors' Championship.
Very well.
So that's happened. I mean, I when I said it, I actually thought it was going to happen next season. I didn't think it was going to happen during the summer break, but it is what it is. It's created a lot of speculation and uncertainty. Mercedes looked like they were going to confirm Bottas for next year. But with this move by Red Bull, I think they've just thought twice and they've held on to their horses. So a number of drivers are in danger for next season, and the second half of the season will determine a lot of their destinies and what's going to happen with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Interesting stuff there. We'll be taking a look at the kind of effect that you're expecting, going into the season as well. But there's also rumor of Bottas leaving Mercedes.
Yeah, I mean, this rumor has been flying around. I mean, to the extent that Toto Wolff, who is supposed to be the principal for Mercedes, put some fire in it when he said that Bottas' seat will be confirmed based on the German Grand Prix and the Hungarian Grand Prix. But we also saw what happened in German Grand Prix, so obviously they couldn't use that one. But at least at the Hungarian Grand Prix and probably the Belgium Grand Prix, which is coming up, is going to speak volumes of Bottas' seat, seeing as they already have the likes of Ocon sitting on their reserve bench, and Ocon is also a very good driver, even though he has his own flaws and all that. He's also one of the best drivers in F2 and even in F1 when he joined the F1. So, I mean, there's a lot of rumors going on. I mean, to the extent that even Red Bull also has their own rumors, and a few other teams. Some teams have confirmed their seats for next year. McLaren is maintaining their drivers. So nobody can touch them. They've already signed their deals.
Ferrari are also safe going into the season, or you suspect?
Going to next season, Ferrari have confirmed their drivers. I mean, there are 4 drivers whose future is in limbo as we go towards the concluding part of this season. Bottas, Ocon, Hülkenberg, and Giovinazzi. I mean, those are the main drivers that we need to watch. I think that Mercedes are going to hold on to Bottas. Bottas has done well this first half of the season compared to last year, and it really depends on what they see from him in the second half of the season. If he's able to ensure that the Constructors' Championship is wrapped up very quickly, and then continues to provide the support that Lewis needs on the track in very tough situations. 3 teams to watch going into the second half of the season and going into early next season are going to be Renault, Alfa Romeo, and Racing Point.
I see.
Okay, the way that they develop the cars and the way that they perform in the in the second half of the season is going to determine to a large extent what kind of drivers they can attract. And depending on the drivers they can attract, that's going to shape a lot of their 2020 season.
Talk about Renault. Where would you place it if you were given the decision to take regarding, maintaining Hülkenberg as the next driver? Would you do that in terms of strategy? Would you want to keep him there? Would you want to replace him?
A lot of it depends on what happens in the second half of the season, right? So there's a driver-vehicle compatibility, and Renault were very disappointed when they lost the Red Bull account, right? So the Red Bulls used to run Renault engines, and because of reliability issues, the Red Bulls shifted to Honda and are doing much better. And so Renault have a lot to prove, and the pressure is really high on Hülkenberg And Ricardo, for example, who used to drive a Renault when he was a Red Bull, is now in an actually Renault Works car, and the Red Bulls are just dealing with him. And it's going to be tough. Those three teams, Renault, Racing Point, Alfa Romeo, need to show a very strong second half of the season so that they can get good play in the driver market and get some good drivers to really challenge in the midfield. Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen, we'll be talking about the next set of ground viewing parties, which everybody, look, the phone calls are coming in, left, right, center. They're asking us at Joy Sports what's going to happen. But, you need to watch out because there's a lot coming up in terms of the collaboration between Joy Sports and Formula One. Remember, this is the home of Formula One in Ghana. And, of course, you're going to be seeing a lot of... stuff as well on TV, especially with all of these interactions with, the fans, the true fans of the respective teams. Now, gentlemen, you're going to tell me who your best three drivers are. I mean, put everything aside. I mean, this is not just winning, okay? Not the podium finishes, but, who your best three drivers have been, up to this point this season. Okay, let me begin with you, Kwapna.
Well, my best three drivers, I'm going to go for obviously Hamilton. I probably would choose this guy, Lando Norris in the McLarens. He's improved very well, and I probably will stick with Charles Leclerc of Red Bull. Ferrari. Those three. The one who's actually impressed me the most. I mean, obviously Lewis is a very good driver, excellent driver. He's done marvelously well this season. I mean, he's shown his character and everything. But the young guns who are joining them, I probably would still give it to Lando Norris.
I see. All right.
Well, I mean, I would go for Lewis as well. But my second best driver this season, in fact, for the past 21 races, has been Max Verstappen.
Okay.
I mean, he's been very consistent, finishing top 5 very consistently, and he's really been a very, very exciting driver to watch. And his performances have been splendid. For the younger up-and-comers, it's a toss-up between Leclerc and Norris. I think that in this first half, Leclerc has been given a bit of a raw deal by Ferrari. On a few occasions, they've forgotten about him on the track. And their focus has always been on Vettel and Vettel's race strategy and bringing Vettel in and making sure Vettel is challenging. And Leclerc has suffered for that. Other than that, I think he would have shown a lot more in the first half, But otherwise, I think Norris is an exciting new driver to watch.
Yeah.
One of the young drivers that we need to look at going into the future.
Great.
Yeah.
Great stuff. All right, gentlemen, now let's talk about the viewing parties. But before that, we did some education last week about the general structure of Formula One. Now, today, what I want us to briefly touch on is, the structure of each team. I mean, we talked about the teams that take part every season and how they are structured, especially because today we're talking about, main drivers and second drivers and how they come into replace and how they complement each other. So briefly, I just want us to educate everybody about the structure, in each season. I mean, how many teams are there, how many drivers, so everybody would understand. Yeah.
Okay, so there are 20 teams.
Great.
Sorry, 10 teams.
10 teams.
10 teams, 20 drivers.
Yeah, sure.
Each team has a spare test driver.
Okay.
So they have 3 drivers per team.
Great.
They have a reserve driver all the time. The teams come into each Grand Prix to start each season with a fixed number of engines. That's one of the things that makes it more exciting is there are limits to how much resources you can throw at an actual race, right? But what really separates teams from each other is the amount of money they throw into development. Okay, so the richer teams tend to spend more money on wind tunnel testing, and they have better. They have more money to throw at development, and so you see it in the performance of the.
And of course, in terms of the start capital to put together a team, you need $15 million, I guess.
More than that.
Yeah,
more than that.
$15 million is very, very little.
Okay, well, so mine is even too conservative.
Probably the price of the car.
Yeah.
Okay.
Minus logistics.
Okay, all right. So put everything together. I mean, what are we looking at
For a Formula One team?
Yes,
it's worth
it's hundreds of millions of
US
US
probably,
dollars,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
it's a lot. I mean,
so of course it's just the car.
take a driver earning.
Well, it's not just a car. I mean, for
No,
example,
so I'm saying that 50 million figure can go for just the car.
just the car.
Yeah?
Yes.
Very well.
I think you see a team like Mercedes.
Sure.
Right. Mercedes has a staff strength of about 1,500 just for their Formula One team. They have a team that sits in Germany and monitors
In the
every
England.
in England, sorry,
In England.
and monitors every single race remotely, telling the technical team, speaking to them real time, everything. From that, you come into the research and development, which you were
that's
talking
likely
about.
that's likely to change in 2021. Now, in 2021, one of the rule changes being brought in is that the drivers will be on their own. So we've seen with a lot of the communications and a lot of telemetry that the drivers get a lot of assistance from the pit stop, from the pit wall, and from the factory.
Okay.
Live, right time on race day,
Okay.
right? And in 2021, that's going to stop. Okay, so the new rules say that once the driver is in the cockpit,
That's it.
it's him and the car.
Wow.
Yes.
And that sure is going to bring. We need a whole day to discuss
Yeah.
what the likely outcomes are going
it's
to be.
going to be it's going
you
to be
know.
completely different, and
Sure.
and yeah, I mean, it's going to be because the drivers do get a lot of help from the pit wall.
Sure.
Okay, so sometimes when they don't notice some of the telemetry, they are reminded that your tires are overheating. You know, there's a problem with your brakes on the left and things like that. But now it's just going to be up to the driver's feel for the car, you know, and whatever he can get on his dash, on the steering wheel.
So it's more of what we do on a regular day, and where you're trying to navigate around
Probably the
around
assistance you get is
yeah.
when
So
you're
a lot
calling
of that
you
is going to
to
change.
your tires.
And the reason is that it's been a big difference because he said Mercedes, that's why I stepped in. It's been a big difference between the bigger teams like Mercedes and the smaller teams that can't afford 1,500 people on a staff.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. Interesting stuff. Gentlemen, we're wrapping it up now, and we want to quickly take a look at the, what we should be expecting going into the next set of viewing parties for the resumption of this season.
Yeah, we have a lot coming up, and we're going to be doing a whole lot of stuff with DSTV, who is our rights holder for Formula One in Ghana, and our main partner, Multimedia. Based on the discussions we've been having with you guys, we're coming up with a full-time half-hour TV series, just focused on Formula One education and everything, and prior to viewing parties and after viewing parties and coverage of viewing parties. So we have a lot of these things coming up. Now, when you start from Belgium Grand Prix, we're at Starbites on the 1st of September. Italian Grand Prix, we're going back to DSTV for Italian Grand Prix. For Singapore, we're going back to Starbites for Singapore Grand Prix. Russia Grand Prix will still be at Starbites. Now, with Mexico Grand Prix, we're going to Smoke and Barrel on October 27th, and it's going to be a Heineken night, as I keep saying. United States Grand Prix, we have a new viewing center for United States Grand Prix, which is going to be the Labadi Beach Hotel.
Okay.
For United States Grand Prix. For Brazilian Grand Prix, we are still talking to our partners. Our partners are saying that we should stick with one of our known viewing party venues, but we will communicate it as and when. With Abu Dhabi, obviously, we have a team going to Abu Dhabi, and we have a fun park coming up for Abu Dhabi on the 1st of December. Yes, we will brief you on this fun park.
Of course, and that's why you need to be firmly fixed on this space. 99.7 Joy Sports GH on Instagram and on Facebook and on Twitter as well. Just follow us because there's a lot coming up. We're wrapping up the year with F1 and Joy Sports in style, and you need to follow us as we go along. So, gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you too.
Let's see how the rest of it goes.
Yeah, so I also want to wish my wife a happy birthday, happy 40th.
Happy! Oh my goodness!
Erifua.
Happy birthday, Erifua! And
your boyfriend loves you anyway. So just so you know,
Charlie. But so what? We're going to transfer the party to Abu Dhabi or something. We'll transfer the party. Don't worry. We'll celebrate over there on their behalf. We'll cut cake and
we'll cut cake over there. You see, William is packing his things and walking out. He doesn't want to commit himself, and some people will start making some demands here and there.
Erifua, we love you so much. Happy birthday from the whole team. Still live on your superstation, Joy 99.7 FM. This is the Joy Sports Link. All right, thank you very much for staying here with us. Now we go into the main matter for today. While we do that, we'll be bringing you some updates from the English Premier League with games ongoing. Of course, yesterday it was a good surprise, a big unfortunate surprise for all of the Barcelona fans. We're going to be talking about that later on here on the show. But let's now bring to you a release from the National Sports Authority. And this is dated August 16, 2019. It reads, "It has come to the esteemed attention of the National Sports Authority that the Ghana Athletics Association GAA plans to hold an elective congress at the Tamale Sports Stadium conference room on August 17, 2019. However, the authority has not sanctioned the said election and has no hand in this event. Furthermore, we want to put it on record that Mr. Baaf Hussaini is no longer serving as the authority's representative to the association. Following this new appointment and assignment to the Triathlon Association, Mr. Rafiq Arthur is now the new representative of the National Sports Authority to the Ghana Athletics Association." And this is coming from the Public Relations Department of the National Sports Authority, and is copied to the acting regional director of the Northern Regional Sports Directorate under the National Sports Authority. Mr. Abidu Wilson is here with me in the studio. He is in charge of technical affairs at the National Sports Authority. Thank you very much, sir, for your time. Great to have you here. Thank you. Please get a little closer to the microphone. All right, let's do a bit of a historical perspective to this matter. From what we know, it is established by law that the National Sports Authority promote and develop sport. There are different sporting associations, in excess of 40 now, under the National Sports Authority. Now, for every administrative structure in each of these associations, you have the National Sports Authority appointing the General Secretary. Now, there's been some confusion between the mother body, which is the NSA, the National Sports Authority, and the Ghana Athletics Association. Can you take us into that so that everybody has a good understanding of what has happened?
Good, thank you, and thank you to all discerning listeners. The National Sports Authority was established by the Act 2016, Act 934. Now, it has its objective. The first objective is to promote and encourage the organization and development and mass participation in sports. The second object, to encourage increased participation and improved performances in sports. And third, to encourage the private sector to contribute to the funding, development, and promotion of sports.
Okay.
Unfortunately, a lot of people assume certain positions without knowing and understanding their role in the position.
Please go ahead.
We work with, because of that, there are associations which all come under the National Sports Authority. Because if you want to see how we can improve, develop sports, then we put them into disciplines. So from athletics, badminton, boxing, whatever, name baseball, name it, to all wrestling, whatever, weightlifting, all under Sports Authority. So how can we see to supervise and to see to that development is going on? How can we? That is why there's a need to have an eye in the association. And those eyes are the Secretary Generals or whatever we appoint to be with the association. It's just like the state. The state has links. Ghana has links with all other states in the world. And they appoint ambassadors to be the link in that country. So it is expected that our ambassadors should report to the president or what. So we expect that our Secretary Generals should report to the Director General on various activities that goes on in the various disciplines, because we want to see that sports is developed. Now, national teams are formed. Do we give money to private people to handle the money anyhow? No. That is why we have our Secretary Generals there, or assistant to see to it that things are implemented in the way it must be done. And all this is by Act of Parliament. Now, come to our regulation, Act 29. Parliament says the minister may, by legislative instrument, make regulations, A, to provide for licenses in respect of matters relating to sports. 2, to provide for fees to be charged in relation to licenses. C, to prescribe for compliance by National Sports Association to their statutes, their charter, their constitutions, regulations, rules or bylaws. So all these, whichever association should have its statutes, regulations, charter, constitution, even lodged with the Minister of Youth and Sports. You don't know where in an island. You are using the name Ghana. All of them are Ghana. So we should streamline things. It's not individuals' pocket. It's not Wilson's association. It's not Atos association. But Ghana association, where Ghanaian citizens are involved.
All right. We'll be doing some more as we go along, but I need us to get to that point where the confusion came in, because the Sports Authority has duly appointed Mr. Rafiq Arthur as the General Secretary, the Secretary General of the Athletics Association. Mr. Bawa Fuseinu says, no, I am still the Secretary General. And for the benefit of listeners, we're doing our best to reach Mr. Bawa Fuseini on the phone line. He has agreed to be part of this discussion, as the Congress is ongoing. And remember that the National Sports Authority has distanced itself. It is not associated in any way with the Congress that is happening at the Alhaji Aliu Mahama Sports Stadium in Tamale.
It's not there.
It's not happening there.
And I said do not give them the premises.
Okay. All right. So they've changed the premises. I see. Interesting.
Yes.
Okay. So have you picked up any information regarding where the Congress is being
held?
No,
it's not necessary to me. No, to me, it's not necessary because we do not recognize. So why should I follow it?
Okay.
It's not at the Aliu Mahama Stadium.
Okay. Now, can you bring us up to speed on on the format of appointment and how often the Sports Authority regulates its staff to these associations to become Secretary Generals of the associations?
Well, with the increase in the number of regions, there has been the need to send officers to the regions. So, Mr. Bauer was appointed as the acting regional director for the Western North region. And we are expecting him to have even reported today. We are expecting him to have reported to the Western North region as he's been appointed. So if he decides not to go and to hold on to the Secretary Generalship, then that decision will be discussed later. But he has been written to categorically to hand over to Rafik Atta and go to
Okay, when did this happen, please?
17th July.
17th July.
Yeah.
Okay. The Sports Authority wrote to Mr. Bawaf Hussaini.
Yeah.
Okay. Did he respond to that letter?
No, he hasn't responded.
He hasn't responded to the letter. Okay.
He only brought the letter back to Director General that his name, Bawa, has been misspelled. Instead of the H behind, there was no H behind, which Director General corrected and gave it back to him.
So his name is spelled Bawah.
Yeah. And
Okay.
the Director General, the typist made a mistake and made the Bawa. Now he brought the letter back, and the letter is being corrected and sent back to him, showing gross disrespect to me. Because, Chris, if you are here and you assigned to sports, to report sports, to do everything sports, and now they assign you to, with your experience you've got, now we want you to do entertainment, or you want to report on politics. I mean, it's something that they have realized that you can do.
I see. Now, let me ask you something with the status of the newly appointed Secretary General. Mr. Rafik Arthur, has he started work? Is he in control? Is he in charge? And has he been introduced also to the International Athletics Federation, which is IAAF?
Bawa has refused to hand over to him.
I see. When did this come to your notice?
Reported to me a week ago that he's been going to the office all the time. Bawa has been telling him, you should wait.
Please go ahead. Yeah,
So
sure.
it's been Bawa all the time. Bawa keeps him waiting. So Bawa has just, I'm sure.
Okay, so what has the Sports Authority done as an institution to address this situation or address this matter?
The matter has just come. It's very fresh. Now all our attention has always been with the Africa Games, and they've taken advantage that attention is on Africa Games, so they can do whatever they want.
Now, my question then is, do you you don't blame anybody if anything goes wrong because you've had time to address this matter as the mother body?
Oh, we are going to address it.
When?
We are going to address it. Let things take shape. We're going to address it.
I mean, when you say let things take shape, I don't get it. What exactly do you want to take shape?
For instance, the Director General has led the Ghanaian contingent to the Africa Games to Morocco. So Director General is in Morocco now. And I cannot, or nobody can take a decision in his absence. Management will have to take a decision. So when management takes a decision, then it's binding. In the absence of Director General, we cannot take decision.
I see. If you just joined us, this is the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM, and we're taking a look at this rather bizarre situation of the under the National Sports Authority, where the Ghana Athletics Association is holding an elective congress today, and this is happening in Tamale. We're told that because the National Sports Authority has not given approval for it to happen, the congress, which was initially supposed to be held at the Aliu Mahama Stadium, has been moved to another venue. I learned that it's the Tamale Senior High School. Let's get on the phone line now and pick the thoughts of Mr. Bawaf Hussaini, who is at the center of all of this. Now he is his designation as it is, and as he will agree to, is that he's still the Secretary General of the Ghana Athletics Association. Mr. Bawaf Hussaini, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Matt. Thank you very much for having me.
First of all, can you bring us up to speed on what exactly it is that is happening in Tamale and where you are now?
Currently, we are having our Congress at Tamale Senior High Senior Staff Common Room, and we are just finishing up the morning session, and we'll go on break and come back for the election itself. We've just gone through our last Congress minutes, and we've just gone through our auditor's report and other matters. From here, we'll come out for break, then we'll go in for the election. Everything is smooth. We have 18 of our members out of 22. Yeah, out of 20, we have 20 memberships, so 18 are present.
I see.
Yes, sir.
Have you received the letter from the Sports Authority, telling you that Mr. Rafiq Arthur is the newly appointed Secretary General of the association?
No, I've not. The letter I received from the Sports Authority yesterday, around 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock thereabout, was a letter transferring me and a letter querying me why I have written a memo to the DG. I've never received any letter on somebody coming to replace me at the GAA. I just received the notice. Even the transfer, I can say it on authority. I'm rarely informed that the board has even asked the NSA to withhold the transfer. I don't know why it was brought to me yesterday. I'm rather informed about that.
Okay, would do a confirmation from Mr. Abidu Wilson. He's seated here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now,
you can do that.
By the format of these elective congresses that are held amongst the sporting associations, you're all supposed to have a representative of the National Sports Authority. Do you have a representative of the National Sports Authority?
It is never true. We're in the constitution of GA that we have to have a representative of the National Sports Authority. There's nothing like that in the GA constitution. There's nothing like that in the RWA constitution. There's nothing like that in the CA constitution. In fact, if we have somebody from the National Sports Authority organizing Congress for Athletes Association, it will be deemed illegal.
Hold on, Mr. Hussaini, hold on, please hold on.
Okay.
The question I asked is not about who organizes the Congress. I'm asking about representation from the National Sports Authority.
There's no representation of that sports authority on the GEA constitution. There's nothing like that on the GEA constitution. And we are working strictly with our constitution. Just like what the learned judge has ruled. Just as what the RWA has written to it. In fact, if you read the RWA letter, they even said anything outside the GEA constitution is going to be illegal. It's going to be illegal. And that they even mentioned the institutions that should not be involved in the GE issues. The Director General has that letter. I've given that letter to him personally. They mentioned NSA, they mentioned GOC, and they mentioned the ministry. That this institution, if they're involved in the GE issue, they will determine and they will deem it as a governmental interference.
Okay, I'll be grateful if you can move away from the drumming. We realize that there's a bit of fanfare around there. Now, I want to ask you this. Now, how were you? How did you take up your position? By what, procedure did you take up your position as Secretary General of the National Sports Authority? Can you please educate me on that?
Yes, fantastic. Before I was appointed, Professor Dudu wrote a letter.
Okay, hold on. You're saying you were appointed to your position?
Yes, I'm coming.
I just want to get it clear before we go along. Where you were appointed to your position?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm coming.
You were appointed. Don't worry. This is your space. You will definitely address. I'm just trying to get a few things clear. Okay.
Let me flow. When I end, you get
no problems at all. I'll have you flow. I just want to establish a few things.
Okay.
You were appointed. Who appointed you as Secretary General?
I was appointed by the then Director General, Mr. Honorable Safo Mensah.
Director General of
the National Sports Authority.
Great. Let's carry on. Please go ahead with your point.
Yes, sir. So you see, when Professor Dudu requested me, when Madam Fitina was elevated to the Chief Admin Officer, and he wrote a letter and the Honorable Safo Mensah accepted the letter and appointed me to the GAA. That is where people like Mr. Bedu doesn't understand very well. When they appoint you to the association, it's just the synergy between the association and the NSA. That the association allowed the NSA to appoint you. But when they are referring you to the RWF for confirmation, it is the executive board who will sit in the executive committee meeting and affirm your appointment and write to the RWF with the minutes, says to RWF that they, the executive committee, have appointed you as the successive secretary general to the RWF. If they use the NSA, as the NSA is appointing you, the RWF will never accept that. And will see it as governmental interference. So it was just the synergy that the association have given the NSA that privilege to do. If you check our constitution, Article 14.12, it clearly says how the Secretary General is being appointed. So in the constitution, the Secretary General is appointed by the Executive Committee, and the same is reported to the RWF. Because if they take my name, as well as saying to RWF, and tell RWF that it was the source authority that appointed me, they are not going to accept me. I'm operating as the Secretary General because I have been accepted and given the due recognition by the RWF. That is why I can write emails, I can enter at least, I can attend conferences, I can attend congresses.
Okay, very well. Point well made. Okay,
yes.
Now, you have made a point about your appointment by the National Sports Authority, after which the executive board of the Ghana Athletics Association submitted your name to the IAAF to be confirmed. Right.
No, they confirmed at the executive board meeting.
And introduced you. So they introduced you to the IAAF.
Yes.
After you had been appointed by the National Sports Authority.
Yes.
Very well. So that same body is saying that they do not recognize you. There surely is something wrong.
Yes, I'm not arguing about that. That's what my argument is. But the National Sports Authority had the power to do that. My position now has been elevated from a Secretary General to a Chief Executive Officer. So if they say they appoint a new Secretary General, I have no problem with that.
Hold on. You've been elevated from a Secretary General to a Chief Executive Officer.
Yes.
By
the Executive Committee and by the Congress of the GAA.
Okay.
So if they bring Secretary General,
by the Congress of the GAA, that one that's happening today.
No, it happened last 2 years in Cape Coast, 2017. I've written a memo to that effect.
Okay.
And I'm also, because of that, I'm also serving as the Chief Executive Officer of West African Confederation of African Athletics Region 2. And I was even nominated to be the coordinating officer for all African candidates contesting the IAAF Congress in Doha. So I'll go to Doha a week before the competition. Just because my position has been elevated to Chief Executive Officer, and they were able, and I was able to even win an election at the CE 2 level.
All right.
That's opportunity.
So, Mr. Bawah Hussaini, you are the CEO of the Ghana Athletics Association.
Perfect.
Is that now, as we speak?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you are at a congress that is supposed to elect a new set of executives for the association, where you'd have a president, a vice, and other executives, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so where does your work come in, and are you going to have a structure where you'd also have a Secretary General under this new structure that you are educating us on?
The IAAF amended their constitution 2 years ago, and they've replaced the term Secretary General with the Chief Executive Officer. If you Google right now to IAAF constitution, you see it there. So our constitution was.
Give us. I have the constitution. I have the constitution here. So you go in there. Let's compare notes quickly as we go along. This is the 2019 constitution. It's effective January 2019. So please give me, the specific. Yes.
No, I don't have it in front of me. But you just check the chief executive. Go to the table. You see Chief Executive Officer there. Then you go there. Then you see whether they have Secretary or Chief Executive. So it has been reflected in the CEA Constitution and all national federations in good standing like Ghana needed to amend their constitution to reflect that of the IAAF. One was in 2017, and the last one was in 2019. So the 2017 one, Ghana Athletic Association adopted the IAAF resolution and amended the constitution to that effect and sent it to IAAF for information.
Okay.
That is why in this Congress we are going to have 2 vice presidents. We are going to have a woman vice president. We have to have deputy organizing secretary. So the GA constitution has been amended to reflect that of the changes at the IAAF level. So whatever we are doing here is legal.
Okay.
Correct. I spoke to IAAF this morning. They are waiting for my reports tomorrow in the morning, and we will be able to attend our conferences in Rabat. If not that, we will not go to Rabat. So the Congress is illegal, is duly constituted by the Executive Committee of the Ghana Athletic Association. It is not me who is organizing it. It's the ESCO who is organizing the Congress. The Congress is not organized by individuals.
Very well, very well, very well. Now, Mr. Hussaini,
yes, sir.
The Athletics Association,
yes, sir,
has worked all these years under the National Sports Authority.
Yes, sir.
Right or wrong? Okay.
Right.
Now, you're having still
Yes,
okay, but you are having a key event.
Yes.
Okay, which is going to spell the new structure of the administration of the Ghana Athletics Association, and
Yes,
the
sir.
Sports Authority, under whose arm you operate, is distancing itself from what you are doing. There surely is a problem somewhere, isn't there?
There's no problem from it. Where the problem is coming from? Is it? No, we have been organizing congresses since 2010. It has never been a situation where we have to go and seek permission, or the association have to go and seek permission from the NSA to go and organize congresses. This is not the first congress I've organized with this association. This is not the first congress the association have organized, or even the congress. It has never happened. If the new thing that they want to do, fair enough, then they should write it to all associations that if you want to have your congress, come, let's discuss it. Because the congress is just like ADM. It's purely association issue. It's purely association issue. Just like when you're going for an association meeting.
Okay.
The association is going for meeting. You don't have to go and ask for permission before they go for meeting.
Okay.
This is a general meeting.
That is fine. Now,
Yes.
Another thing, you work with a certain level of funding as well from the National Sports Authority, right or wrong?
Wrong. The last time we received money for Sports Authority or for Ministry was in 2012.
You haven't received a dime from the National Sports Authority since 2012?
Yes.
Okay. Would confirm that from the official here in the studio.
Yes. Sir.
Now, the second thing is, the association is going to the All Africa Games as the
Yes.
Ghana Athletics Association. So you are not under the International Games Committee that was set up by the Sports Authority. You are not going there under that umbrella. You are going there as a separate body.
No, how can you go there as a separate body? We are going there as a national team. If you want to go that on that tangent, because the association represents the national interest. The association also have an international relationship. Even the LI that was passed in 2010 or 2009, it says that all the national federations should respect their international policies and rules and should even amend their constitution to reflect that of the international federations. The LI is there. Isn't the LI 1088 or something like that?
It is. It is.
Yes.
My issue of concern here is that there is a certain level of collaboration. Now, before the team started departing Ghana, there was a certain bonus structure that was announced and all of that. If you go, you win medals. You win a gold. Is $3,000 if you win. A silver is $2,000 if you win. A bronze is $1,000. So that's the structure, isn't it? Okay, so so the athletes under the Ghana Athletics Association will benefit from this structure if they go and win accordingly.
Yes.
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 but the association, the authority says that they do not recognize what you're doing. So there definitely is a break in. Yes.
Nat, you are mixing two issues. This is
Tell me what I'm missing.
Purely an association issue. We have two types of competitions. We have games and championships. When it comes to games, it is purely state issue. It is purely state issue. When the International Game Committee was asking for a list of athletes, why didn't they go to NSA and they have come to national federations? So don't mix that too. The national federation have got its rules to play in terms of sport development. The national federation has the national teams and athletes and their local programs where they produce this. The NSA is the umbrella body. So if you are going to go into national teams or who presents what, they are going to mix the thing. But if you are going for championship, like World Championship, it's a federation that even do the entries.
Okay. Now,
so this one you have to go either through the GOC, and this one they have to go through the GOC because that's the rule of the GOC. But it is representing the state.
Okay.
You can't go as if it's games. You can't go as if. So when we're going to Asaba, the association didn't pass to anybody. We find our own resources and to the national team there. However, okay, no.
Okay. Mr. Fuseni,
yes, sir.
Who employs you as we speak? Who's your employer?
I am employer of National Sports Authority.
You're employed by the National Sports Authority?
Yes.
As what?
As the sports development. First, I was employed as an administration officer, and I went to school, and I came and wrote for editor. So I'm now a senior principal sports development officer.
Okay. You're a principal sports development officer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. With your main your main station being where? Where are you stationed? Which operation do you run now?
Until yesterday that I received the letter, I was at headquarters.
As headquarters, I was at headquarters as sports development officer attached to the GAA. The sports development officer attached to the GAA?
Yes.
No, but you've mentioned already that you are CEO of the association, isn't it?
No. You are asking me my relationship in the sports authority, where I work at the sports authority. The CEO is within the association level because the NSA they don't have a title CEO. The title CEO would have meant you have been the director general in the so within the NSA. So that's why I'm saying that there are two issues. The NSA issue is there, and the association issue is there. When you're mixing the two, you'll not get a good picture.
But you do agree that at almost every other point there is a certain level of collaboration, and the roles are intertwined. You work together.
Definitely, yes. Okay.
I'll be grateful if you can hold on, because here with me in the studio are, Mr. Abedu Wilson, the head of technical at the Sports Authority, and also Mr. Princeworth Anane, former athlete, a coach, and also the chairman of the Technical Universities Sports Association. Okay. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Now, let me once again take a confirmation from you. Mr. Bawa Fuseni says that the Ghana Athletics Association has not received any form of funding from the Sports Authority since 2012. Can you please, confirm or otherwise?
No, I'm on.
Sports Association comes in different forms.
Sure.
Buying tickets for them, assisting them to travel, and just last month they went to Niamey,
Niger.
Mm-hmm. As NSA bus and drivers took them to Niamey and back. So, is it not money spent? Is it not money spent?
Mr. Bawa Fuseni.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can hear Mr. Abedu Wilson, right?
Yes, he talks about the Niger trip.
Yes.
The Niger trip, I wrote a memo to NSA requesting for a bus. The bus was approved, and the bus was given, but the bus was in a very bad state. So I have to use my own money to go and fix the bus, fuel the bus in and out to Niger.
Did you report this to the Sports Authority?
No, I didn't.
Why?
Because I was not in. I was in Niger, and the thing happened. So I spoke with the Director General on it, and I spoke with the TO on it. So it was agreement between me and the TO that if you have money, we should fix the bus and take the bus to Niger and bring it back. So both of them are aware. Now, I discussed the money issues with the TO, but I informed the DJ about my bus issue. But the money and the fixing issue, I discussed it with the transport officer.
Okay. Have you been reimbursed for spending your money? And is that spend documented on your site?
Yes, I have all the receipts covered, but I'm not.
Have you been reimbursed?
No. I'm not. This is not my first time. When we went to Côte d'Ivoire to use my money to fuel the bus and give some stipends to the driver in and out.
I see. Okay, and with that one as well, you didn't make any attempts to communicate all of this, that you have done to the Sports Authority.
To me, I was doing it to help Ghana sports. I was doing it to help Ghana athletics. So there's no need me, if I do something for Ghana athletics or Ghana sports, I go demanding. No, because I know I'm capable, or the association is capable of doing those things. We're all doing it to develop the sports. So if I can contribute a token to the development of sports, to the development of athletics, why wouldn't I do that? So I was doing it just for the love of the sport. I wasn't doing it to come and write for the fund. No.
Mr. Bafuseni, I'm a journalist, and I'm not within your organization. But what I see happening in the immediate future is bad blood between the two bodies, the National Sports Authority and your organization, because they say they do not recognize what you're doing. They do not recognize your position there at the at the association level, and so I do not see any collaboration between your two bodies in the immediate future.
Let me tell you where it started. Mr. Abedi is there. He's my boss. When this kind of competition started, the organized national championship cross country at Mpaho, they never informed the GAA of that. When I asked about it, they said the NSA can do any sports without any other situation. I remember we were in court. So we were taken to court by Ambassador Lutrot and some 14 others. In that program, Ambassador Lutrot was the sponsor. So if somebody who has seen you and your other associations, you are collaborating with him and refuse to even recognize the importance of your own association in organizing national program, what do you think the association will think? So this kind of blood is self-inflicted. I asked, Mr. Metabedi is there. I asked him, why didn't you inform me? Why didn't you just let the GE know that this is what we are doing? But some other people were taken who were not even elected to even athletics to the program. So I told him that what they did, it will create a problem. It's part of this problem. So the association has also thinking that the NSA has also maligned them, so they're doing their own things. So the association also do their own thing. That's where this mistrust and those things started. Because national championships or national cross country, since I started running since the 90s, has always been organized by the National Association. National cross country have never organized cross country. But they think that they have the power to do that. So they went ahead and did it. To me, if you ask me that was completely wrong thing to do. If you want to do that, just ask the association to do it for you. The last time we did cross country was in 2009 at B. Sinyani. The Deputy Secretary General who was there, Mr. Shakora, he's not a Central Regional Director. He organized it. I went there. So all these things, people don't want to hear about it. I complain about it, even in front of DJ. I complain to DJ about it. He didn't see anything wrong with that. So I kept quiet. But I knew what the association members were thinking about that. I knew their feeling about that. That is where the problem started. The problem never started with the association. The problem started from the Mpaho Cross Country Championship.
Okay. Mr. Bafuseni, I'll bring in, Mr. Anane and Mr. Abedu Wilson. But he wants to clarify something very quickly. Mr. Abedu Wilson wants to clarify something very quickly.
With due respect, I don't want to engage Mr. Anane. And Mr. Abedu, I don't want to have a banter with him. He's my boss, but they can make their submissions. But I don't want to have one-on-one or
So he wants to make a clarification before we go ahead.
Okay.
Well, not. When Director General assumed office, one of the things I decided to do to make sure that the authority bounced back was to organize the national cross country. At that time, GA was in court. If an association is in court, then you ought to be very careful with your dealings. So I went to Ghana Gas, and Ghana Gas gave us a major sponsorship. Somebody heard that there's going to be this national program and decided, okay, let me support you with this. I don't think we should ignore it. Not only him, other people came on board, but the major sponsor was Ghana Gas. So NSA has organized activities, and we have been mandated by law to organize an activity. I went and sought for sponsorship myself. GA didn't go for sponsorship, and I needed to see to it that things were done right. Moving here and there. He has never reported anything to me, and if you using something that happened way back in January, February, and using it against me now, then it's like atika. Oh, I am Misume Yobi. You did this to me, so I'll do that. That way. The last time we had national cross country was 2010 in Sunyani, not 20 this time. And the Secretary General at that time was Mr. Doko.
The late Mr. Doko.
Late Mr. Doko was the Secretary General for Athletics. That is all. But then, we are working in tandem. We have so many associations. The latest one, National Paralympic Committee. They had the elections were there. After the election, they reported themselves to Director General. And then, officially, took a letter from Director General to the International Paralympic Committee, confirming that they are now the new executives of the Ghana Paralympic sport. So they can go ahead, we don't have a problem. We were always being frightened or being this one. If you touch football, FIFA will ban us. If you touch football, FIFA will ban. Has FIFA banned us? That's a question I'll ask for everybody to.
Okay. All right. Let me bring in Mr. Anani for his opening remarks. He's been in the studio for some time.
Now, before you go to him, let me just make some small correction.
Yes.
Mr. Doko was not the Secretary General of GEA in 2010. And if you say we were in court, that's why we were not informed about the Power Championship. Dr. Lutot was the plaintiff. He took us to court. He was part of that program. So the reason that because we were in court, that was why we were not part of the program. It's neither here nor there. Because the plaintiff, the person who took us to court, was officially sponsored with T-shirts. We have pictures of all the T-shirts. He even donated rice to the NSA and it was on papers. So that assertion that we were in court, that was why we were not informed. It's not accurate statement.
All right. Remember that you can send in your messages. It's 0244340437. 0244340437. Later on, we'll also activate the phone line so that you can join us with your thoughts on this rather worrying trend or this rather worrying development within, the organization of our sport as we build up to participation in the All Africa Games. Now, Mr. Prince West Anani is an experienced athlete, coach, and also chairman of the Ghana Technical Universities Sports Association. Thank you very much, sir, for your time. You have thoughts on all of this, all this that's happened so far?
Yeah. I'll say good afternoon to all listeners, and good afternoon to all sportsmen, and good afternoon to all of you here in the studio. What I see in this whole thing is this. It is because somebody would think that because we don't want athletics to develop, that's why these things are happening. It's not so. Some of us as intellectuals have gone through our constitution. We've gone through so many things of the GAA, including that of IAF, and we've realized that there's the need for us to improve our system. Just look at the constitution that we have. Currently, I can say with authority that the constitution that we are using is a draft. Why am I saying this? When you look at the constitution, there's a constitution of the Federation of Ghana Athletics, updated March 2016. If something is updated, it has to be approved and then it be promulgated. Nothing has been done like that. And we call this as a working document and a guide. These are some of the things that we saw. And we saw some anomalies and disparities amongst the executive and others. Just to cut my long story short, because everybody knows how it all started, I am saying that if per the IAF rule or IAF law in 2019 is saying that national federations should belong to are members of the IAF, when you talk of national federation, let's go deep into that. It means that it has been recognized by the state or the government on this issue. And therefore, if you are taking any decision and the National Federation that is backing you is trying to say, okay, let's do it this way, they are not cancelling it. But then we all know that there are a whole lot of affairs, Helm of Affairs, African Games and so forth to attend. And so why don't we go? And then when we come back, we look at this because already we are already late in bringing our executives. Right, you are saying that Rabat meeting and we will not be there. It's accepted. But then let us look at things in real. I mean, just inform the conference or the Congress, informing Congress that we are not going to have our elections will not spoil anything. I'm telling you. But yes, we are insisting and trying to insist that we go. These are some of the things that I think some of us see it as wrong. Because already loopholes are in our constitution. Very, very, I mean, when I came in, he was talking about the regional sports development officers not being members and so on and so forth. But I know the constitution talks about it. It says, with the regional associations, Article 46B22, the regional sports development officer, non-voting member, appointed by the National Sports Authority. They are members. They are in attendance of a Congress. Okay? They are in attendance of General Assembly. But they don't have they don't have the voting rights. So what states this? So if the NSA is saying that wait, or we are not associating ourselves, I think it's in order. I don't have anything to say about personal issues, but I'm talking about the issues of the future. If we start from this, we will not end well. Because people have made themselves demigods. And they have also made themselves that there's no way they will live for somebody also with a fresh idea to come in. How can somebody be a president and then decide to be a vice? How can somebody also be vying for two positions at the same time?
Mr. Anane, okay, so
these are some of the worries.
Yeah, so it's a bit of an interesting situation. However, it is not wrong, is it? Because someone has served as president for some time.
That's right.
Now, by the constitution, you cannot run for more than 2 terms. So the person says, okay, I want to serve. I mean, this is an assumption I'm making here. It's a hypothetical situation. So I want to continue to serve. I want to continue to be in administration. I want to lend my services. So let me go to vice president, because there's nothing in the constitution that states otherwise.
Yes, there's nothing in the constitution that states otherwise. But then, common sense and sense of responsibility. You have served a terms of office. So 8 years. What else do you need to be a vice? I'm talking about that. So let's look at that issue. But I will say that this is not the issue. My issue is I fear for the future of athletics. I fear for the future because there's going to be a dichotomy. Either GA decides to go independent, employing their own executives, or the Secretary General, who is now calling himself CEO, Because I don't see anything by the IAF telling them that Africans or all the members should compulsorily be in the CEO system. So if they go separate, independent, then if we are paying the person, because per the provision of the Constitution, it is saying that the CEO has to be paid. So if National Sports Authority is paying any CEO, where is this thing? Let's look at all these things and look at the auditing systems in it. All right? So these are the challenges. These are my worries. I'm worried for our athletics in the near future. We need to look at this critically. Government should come in. We need to look at it. It's not government interference. We should look at it and restructure athletics and restructure other sports so that the sports in this country will be a force to reckon with. We are worried with all these things.
Okay, so let's Mr. Bafuseni, we've done pretty much, and I'd like you to wrap up so that we take it from there.
Yes.
Now, you have listened. Yes, sure.
I listened to both speakers very carefully. I would not like to comment on my boss, but Mr. Nene is repeating what the court had dismissed.
Don't comment anything because you told me that you are not ready to listen to me. So don't comment. Keep your comments, please.
No. I said court has dismissed what you are talking about, so I'm not going to talk about it. I mean, we are done and gone about it and gone beyond that. Everybody laugh at letters. If I do not laugh at letters, I will not be where I am. I will not be even in Africa. I love athletics. Athletics is my blood. Athletics made me who I am today. Took me to school, got me job, got me elevated to the Africa level. So nobody can say that he loves athletics than any other person. There's nothing wrong with our constitution. If something is wrong with our constitution, the Congress is the best place to come and point those things out to Congress, so the Congress will amend and ratify it. The updated constitution was approved by the IWF. The court has confirmed that. The IWF has confirmed that. So his personal opinion on these things may be brought out of certain reasons. That is his personal issue. But what we do know is that the court has affirmed the constitution of GAA. The IWF has also confirmed and accepted the constitution of GAA. And what we are doing today in Tamale is within law and within the rights of the association to organize its own national congress and elect its officers. Thank you very much.
Before you go, finally, before you go, so you will continue to be a principal officer of the National Sports Authority, and then you will be the CEO of the Ghana Athletics Association, which will have a president and other executives, right?
Yes, the position there, they are all voluntary work, just like any other civil servant who is allowed by the laws of Ghana to belong to any other association which is not criminal. So I am a civil servant with the National Sports Authority. I have every right under the laws of Ghana to belong to any other association or federation which is not illegal.
So you will operate as CEO, a CEO without pay. That's what you're saying. A CEO of
the association's members, they don't pay anybody in association member. Even not only the GEA has a secretary general, or will have somebody who is operating as secretary general who is outside the NSA. There are other federations within the NSA who even elected their secretary generals. So this is not a new thing. People have elected their secretary general and they are still operating under the NSA. There are associations who doesn't even have secretary general from the NSA, but they're operating. That is what I'm saying, that this whole issue has undercurrent. But we're not going to discuss undercurrent. We are focused. We're just about to wrap up our Congress in Tamale, and when we finish, we'll submit our report to the IWF, and we'll also submit our report to the Sports Authority. He said the MPC did their election and submitted a report to them. He said they did their election completely, and they submitted the report to them. That's in order. So who said, well...
Nobody, I haven't heard anybody here contest that matter of the association holding its own elections.
Okay.
It is just about the designations and the roles that some of you play, and that's what we've been discussing. The role that you play...
Yeah, the role I play is within the constitution of GA. If anybody who thinks that I've violated the constitution of GAA, he should point it out to me, and I will resign today. Not. I will resign, and I can leave NSA if I'm wrong. I'm damn right, and I know within the constitution of GAA. I'm not scared. If I'm wrong, I will say sorry, and I will do the honorable thing and quit. But I know within myself and within the law of GAA that I'm not wrong. And I'm putting it on air because Joy is a place that a lot of people listen to. And I'm saying it publicly. If I'm wrong, I'm ready to resign from the association, and I'm ready to resign my position at the NSA. If I'm wrong.
Mr. Bawaf Hussaini, thank you very much. We surely are going to continue this discussion in the coming week. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate it, and I'm most grateful.
Well, we heard from Mr. Bawaf Hussaini. He says that if proof is given that he is wrong legally, he will resign. He has made that comment here on the Joy Sports Link. We'll come back here to the studio, and I'll be reading some of your messages. I've seen a couple of messages. I'll be reading them, but remember it's 02443404337. 02443404337. A rather interesting turn of events here. As the Ghana Athletics Association looks forward to going to Congress to elect a new set of executives. There is a message here from Samuel K. Nukpenu. Samuel, I will not read your message because there is a lot of insulting language in there. And we've always set the rules very clearly here on the Joy Sports Link. This is not a platform where we encourage insults. So I will not read your message purely on the basis of principle. Thank you very much. Gentlemen, Mr. Bawaf Hussaini says that if it is given proof that he is wrong, he will resign.
That's his opinion, and that's what he wants. Fine. I don't have a problem.
Okay. Now, I just want to look ahead quickly to what's happening in the coming weeks. The All Africa Games is coming up, and
it has started.
Okay, and so what then is going to happen? Because by the structure that we all go by, we normally have a chef de mission who's in charge of the whole contingent, including athletes under the Athletics Association. So what is going to happen really? I mean, I'm not getting it because the association has clearly gone against the directives of the Sports Authority. So what then will happen? We need to get that clear.
Currently, I just want to state that now we disassociate ourselves. National Sports Authority disassociates ourselves from the Congress. The ministry will take a decision because we are under the ministry. Because when they were in court, it became an issue. The ministry was on us to help try to resolve it. Even it got to the presidency. So, because of that, the Director General formed a committee, and then they tried to resolve all issues. So they are out of court. And it is prudent that all stakeholders should have been brought together to have a pathway to organize the elective Congress. Just as is happening for even 2020 election, there is stakeholders meetings going on to see to that the 2020 elections goes on well. So that has been. NPC had a problem. There were stakeholders meetings, they came together and had a pathway to organize the election. These are common things around. But you don't just give a day's notice, a day or two notice that you're going to organize where nobody is aware and organize Congress thinking that all will be well. Wow.
Let's do a quick message from Emmanuel Arthur in Dansoman. He's asking this rather interesting set of questions. Okay, so Nat, is football a sport or not? Has the NSA a rep in GFA? Does the GFA seek permission before holding their Congress? Does the NSA appoint a Secretary General to the GFA? I want the NSA man to respond to these questions.
In a way, they inform us. Even the GOC, anytime they have meetings, inform NSA. The Ghana Olympic Committee, anytime they have meetings, inform us. So we are all in the sports fraternity. We work together. Nobody is envious of anybody. But then the right things must be done.
Yeah,
Mr. Anani.
and to add to what he has just said, with GAA, we have two categories of membership, the primary members, and then we have the associate members. Now, NSA falls under the primary members. And on the primary members are all the regional associations. And when you read Article 46B 2.2, he says that the regional sports development officer, a non-voting member appointed by the National Sports Authority. For better understanding, let's start with the regional associations. He says that 46B1 says there shall be a set up in each region of the Republic of Ghana, a regional branch of the federation, which shall be known as Regional Athletics Association. That is the constitution. Then, a regional athletic association shall be comprised of the following. 46B21. All member bodies of the association, provided the member has a recognized presence in the given region. 46B22. The regional sports development officer, non-voting member appointed by the National Sports Authority. And so, when you say this in the Constitution, then it means that at your Congress, Assembly, or whatever it is, the regional directors or regional sports development officers are present, but they are non-voting members, so they can contribute.
Still here on the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM. In a bit, we'll activate the phone line so that you can join us with your thoughts on this subject that we're discussing. Okay, there's a message here from Ajiman Joseph in Community 9 in Tema. It says, "Good afternoon, Nat. I like the professional way with which you're handling this issue of discussion. I'm enjoying your show." Okay, there's this one that came earlier from Wafayao in La Paz. He says, "Good afternoon, sir. Please, are you interviewing Boaf Husseini or you are interrogating him?" Well, I'm interviewing him, and interviewing requires asking questions. And mine is to ask the questions for your eventual education. So that's exactly what I wanted to do. At every single point, I just want to get everything clear so that you don't leave yourself asking too many questions after this. Yes, we've got 2 hours to run this show, a little under 2 hours to run this show. However, we make the most out of it. The reason why we need to push to ask as many of the questions as possible so you can understand the issues. That's the reason why, we're asking the questions the way we ask them. Okay, thank you. Remember, it's 00302216541. That's for a few minutes time where, when we activate the phone lines. So you can join us. So 0244 340437 is our WhatsApp line. Okay, so sometimes I just ask myself, couldn't we have avoided all of this considering, the very tough journey that the association traveled in getting to this point, going to court, doing all of the back and forth. Couldn't we have avoided all of this?
Yeah, there is always dialogue with NSA. Association, they always come. At the office, they're always there. Presidents, Secretary Generals always come there with dialogue on issues concerning the work they are doing. I take my time to even explain further what they're supposed to be doing. Quite a number of association executives, I would say, are there and assume that they know what they're supposed to do. But then a lot of them are quite ignorant of what they're supposed to do. A lot of the associations don't have even structures to operate. And I believe that we should have structures to operate. We are supposed to work with the private bodies? Why is it that some of the associations get sponsorship easily? Others are not getting sponsorship easily because the structures are not there. Because they want to operate on their own. It shouldn't be so. If you want to operate on your own, then it means that you are going to be a big failure in future. But then you work with people. Let people come around you, assist you, so that the work will go on for you. It's not a matter if one person is not there, as if the association is a personal property. It shouldn't be so. Once it's an association, it is for the public, and you are not the owner. Anybody at all can be the president, whilst you are even not the president. So let us see it as, how would I say, service to the people, and not being lord over the people. To me, athletics should have been a leading association in the country. But the way things are going, I fear for the future. It's grim. We don't have competitions. And I don't know the last time we organized national championships in Ghana. I don't know the last time we organized one. Those that when we had mobile games where foreign athletes were coming down to compete for major competitions, like all the Africa games we are having, they just select people. This person is doing this time over here. You check, this person is doing this. So how would a nation, how would people, Ghanaians, feel that it's true that this person is doing so well? For instance, going for all Africa games, all athletes should come, compete and qualify. That this Ghanaians should know that this is Kofi Atto, this is Akwesi Agyeman. He was the best when we competed national championships wherever, Kumasi or Accra. So that when we are talking, we talk with facts.
Sure. If you just joined us, well, we've got 15 minutes to wrap up the show. We're discussing this rather unfortunate curve that the Ghana Athletics Association and the Sports Authority are traveling. The Athletics Association is holding an elective congress today in Tamale, and the Sports Authority has nothing to do with it. They do not want to be associated with it. Clearly, there is a lot that we should be expecting in the coming days, especially as Ghana is participating in the All Africa Games in Morocco. Now, we've been joined on the phone line by a former Director General of the Sports Authority, Mr. Joe Kpenge. He wants to also make a contribution to the discussion. Mr. Joe Kpenge, great to have you on the show. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, can you please lower the volume on your radio set? We're having some feedback. Please lower the volume on your radio set.
Okay.
All right, please. Yes, turn it down completely. Okay, please,
okay?
please. Yes, sure. Please go ahead.
Okay. Yes. In relation to the discussion you are having about, I see it as one on the relationship between the National Sports Authority and the associations that come under the authority. As some of the panel members have been saying, the law requires the authority to support the associations in terms of funds and other material support. So the association has been giving the authority the authority has been giving associations money for their programs. But the issues arising from here is that, as Mr. Fuseni, if you have to glean from what Mr. Fuseni was saying, the relationship between Sports Authority and associations through the officers, the development officers, is such that the development authority, the development officers seem rather to be inclined more to the associations than the authority because of the resources that are available in the associations which are not available in the Sports Authority. the associations have resources coming from outside in terms of funding, and then the little that the sports authority gives them. So, for example, it enables them to travel whenever the associations are traveling. So, when you juxtapose the association and the sports authority, they are more interested in working for the association than for the authority. Now, when I was there, when I was at the authority, one of the issues confronting me was about labor for the sports authority. We didn't have enough staff, and permission was not granted to the authority to recruit staff. So I said, okay. I called all the association heads and explained to them that because of this situation, I would like to withdraw the officers who have been seconded to them so that they come and support the work of the sports authority. But this met with fierce resistance from both the associations themselves and the officers that we have seconded to them. So this is the situation. And if there are any particular issues you would like to touch on for me to comment, as somebody who has been on the seat before, I'll be willing to tell you my experiences.
Interesting thoughts there. But another thing that I was also expecting was that the sports authority as a body have its disciplinary rod up and ready to crack at any time, because I mean we're in a legal environment and everything has to do with rules and regulations. The authority works under its own rules and regulations. Therefore, employees must also comply when directives are given. But it looks like employees, they do what they like.
It is about resistance. And as I've told you, the officers themselves resist for stated reasons that I've told you. When I was there, I used to have running battles, more or less running battles with these officers who are attached to the association. And sometimes I even try to reshuffle them because of their involvement in some of the many disputes in the association. And most of them were fighting me. You can ask any of them. If Mr. Futeni is there, probably you can ask him. They will not accept. They will not accept. And those who I expect to support me, especially my own bosses, they don't, because of their own interest as well.
And when you say your bosses, you mean the ministry, the sports ministry.
Exactly. You've asked about the Ghana Football Association. Somebody has asked, why is it that the NSA cannot appoint a development officer for Ghana Football Association as it appoints for other associations? Why? But the ministry will not support it. Why is Ghana Football Association not one of the regular associations that the sports authority supervises? Because it's not allowed. The ministry doesn't allow it. So talking about rules and regulations, I think these have all been muddled up. That is one of the problems at the sports authority. Because when I went there, I thought in the absence of adequate funding, reforming the authority was one of the things I could do, coming from my professional background as a teacher in GIMPA. But I was not allowed. I've written papers months after I arrived at the sports authority. If you ask the association, I wrote a paper on how to move Ghana sports forward. And some of these documents I can forward to you. At one of the Ghana Athletics Association congresses, I produced a paper, an academic paper, on the relationship between Ghana Sports Authority as part of the state of Ghana and then the federations. I produced some of this in the hope that I will be able to make the necessary reform with a bit of political support for me to move the authority ahead. But it never happened. And I was resisted by my own staff, all the way along.
Mr. Jokwenge, I guess that this is, like I've mentioned already, this is a big subject which requires some more time to discuss. But we're grateful for your contribution. We're very grateful.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. We've got just about 5 minutes to wrap it up here on the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM. There's a message that's coming in again from Emmanuel Arthur. He says that the Director General is in the country. He's an athlete. He met him yesterday. We're told he's leaving on Sunday, which is tomorrow. Mr. Wilson mentioned earlier that...
The statement reminds me of something. You meet somebody on the street, the next moment you hear that he's dead. Is it not the person I met just now?
Yeah.
Air Maroc left 5 a.m. today.
So, Emmanuel, the Director General is not in the country. This is the information we're getting from the head of technical. Let's get back on the phone line. Andy also is an athlete and a coach. He is in the US. He wants to make a contribution to the show as well. Andy, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Nato, and I appreciate you having me on.
Okay. Where time is not our best friend, so would want you to box it up as much as you can and, wrap it up as quickly as we can. Thank you.
And sure, and I'll be quick. You made mention to the fact that we are now in the legal realm. And so whatever the association does, it has to make sure that there is a legal framework backing it up. And this issue of NSA appointments doesn't even make sense to me. Our own national sports law, the 2016 Sports Bill, specifically says that national associations must be in compliance. They must be in compliance with the rules and regulations and constitutions of their respective international federations. So the next question then is, okay, what does IAAF require of GA when it comes to the appointment of Secretary General / CEOs? And it is the executive body of the association that actually appoints. This is the exact same thing that's in the IAAF constitution. Literally, what is in the GA constitution is lifted from the IAAF constitution. So it boggles my mind that we are discussing something that our own national law prohibits. I am yet to hear NSA give us a legal justification for what they are trying to do.
Okay. Now, I have the Sports Act of 2016 here, and I'll say thank you. I mean, unfortunately, our time is not, but thanks for that angle that you've brought to the discussion. But I would like to also read to you, the Sports Act of 2016, Act 934, Regulations 29(1). The minister may, by legislative instrument, make regulations, A, to provide licenses in respect of matters relating to sport, to provide for fees to be charged in relations to these licenses, to prescribe for compliance by national sports associations to the statutes, the charters, the constitutions, regulations, rules, or bylaws of the respective international federations or organizations, which is what you've mentioned. Yeah,
exactly.
And to provide for the registration of the sports associations, and to provide for the regulations of persons onto or into any land building facility owned or under the control of the authority. There's more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And so the bigger issue then is, okay, so what is the relevant LI, the relevant legislative instrument? And it's the 1988. And the 1988 was specifically introduced by government just so that we could get out from the IOC ban in 2011. Why were we banned? We were banned exactly because of appointments made by NSA onto federation boards was what resulted in our ban.
Okay, Andy, would have to cut it here and continue another time. However, what the point I need to also make here is that, I mean, these are things that we should advocate for, without incident, so that we shouldn't bring these things up when these incidents come up. We should start advocating for them when nothing is happening, so that we are seen to have real love for the sports that we're all part of. Because when these things come up and we start now referring to the appointment system, then it becomes a problem for all of us to understand, because the appointment system is the same thing that got Mr. Bauer in place some time ago. Today, it's not convenient. And once again, I'm looking at it purely from somebody who's outside of the system. Gentlemen, we've got just under a minute to wrap it up. Your final comments. Unfortunately, we run out of time.
My final comment is exactly what you have just said. That when things are coming up and we see it, we shouldn't see it as being enemies. I said earlier that the Constitution, there are loopholes. I said so many things that has to be done in the Constitution. Even in our Constitution, we don't have the Ethics and Integrity Committee in it provision for us to do. If that had happened in the Constitution, we would have gone to court. So, all I'm saying is that when somebody is, the fear of individual differences. So when I'm coming with my concept and idea, I believe we should accept it and then move forward, because we don't have to sit down and make all the old status quo work. In fact, what's going on, I'm sorry for Ghana Athletics. I'm very, very sorry. And I don't see a bright future in Ghana Athletics. Thank you.
Mr. Abidu Wilson.
God save Ghana.
Thank you.